If you don't believe that we are in a fight today, you're sleeping under a rock. If you get hit and you lay down and you cry and you fold up in the corner, definitely you will not win the fight. We show up to win. Our culture needs a lot of you young people in here to step up and stand out. There is nothing or no principality, power, division, devil can stop us when we're united. They can only get you when you're divided. When I see the American flag, I see us progressing to something that can be awesome and great. And if you don't plan on winning big, you might as well go home today.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome back to another Officer Tatum show. There's a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. I'm going to try to make it quick because I got an interview here in a minute. But let's jump right into it with the Michigan church fire. And a lot of controversy, obviously, is coming out of this. We don't have a lot of information as of yet. But the information we do know right now is that there was a veteran, a Marine veteran, fought in Afghanistan, decided to ram his truck into the building. Multiple people shot, 5 people confirmed dead, and he set the place ablaze. In my opinion, based on what I know so far and what's presented to us, because I want you guys to know, and this is why you can trust Brandon Tatum, because I'm not going to push conspiracies. I'm only going to push what investigatory information that we have, and you don't need to jump to speculation and conclusions, because at some point some real information going to come out, then we can evaluate that. So right now, this to me looks like nothing other than another attack on a faith-based facility. We've seen them shoot up the churches. We've seen them shoot up the schools that are Christian-based, and this is another example of a Christian threat or a attack on a Christian institution. Now, a lot of people will want to jump to the conclusion and say, oh, it's somebody on the right. This person was a Trump supporter. I think that's unreasonable to bring that up because I don't think it has any weight here. The real issue is the attack on Christianity. Now, I would argue this. If the person was a quote unquote Republican, what Republican theology or policy does this align with? When are Republicans or MAGA against Christians? When are Republicans and MAGA participate in mass shootings and violence? That's not even a talking point or a theory associated with Republicans. The difference between the Republican and the Democrat is that the Democrat leftist people that we see doing violence are doing it at the I would say instruction and influence from the rhetoric that's coming from the left. To say that we're fascists, to say that we need to be taken out, to say that we should be attacked in the middle of the street, to say that we're destroying people's lives through Medicare and Medicaid, saying that we're Nazis and saying that we're rounding up illegal aliens for no reason and doing all this stuff. That they're creating hatred and animosity based on their rhetoric. There is no conservative rhetoric that tells a person to go to a church and commit a heinous crime. So let's listen to the police chief on some of the investigatory information that we have so far. I wrote a clip.
Evil. This was an evil act of violence. That's exactly what this was. And this is not Grand Blanc. This does not define Grand Blanc and who we are. We are a community, and I am confident that together we're going to build a stronger community due to this incident. Now, an update, this left 5 people dead, 8 people injured. As I said, this is an evil act and does not define Grand Blanc or who we are. At this time, what we know is everyone has been accounted for. We still are in the process of clearing out that church, but at this time, everyone is accounted for.
So let's play the other link, clip 2 real quick. And this is going to be brief because we don't have much information. Roll the clip.
Hi, Chief Rennie, Grand Blanc Township Police Department, here to give you an update on the active shooter situation that we had, and it settled just recently on today's date at 10:25 a.m. So I want to give the community just a brief update. There has been one more fatality due to gunshots. That person had died at a local hospital. As far as reunification, if you're wondering how to reunify with your family member, I want to provide you with a phone number. That phone number is 248-705-7352. That number will lead you to the Red Cross, who is on scene over there at Trillium. with several people who were at the church when this incident took place, and they will be able to tell you where your family member is at. For the community, we know that you're hurting right now, and we also want to provide services to our entire Grand Blanc community starting tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and all throughout this week at the Grand Blanc Township Police Department. You could come in if there's anything that you're thinking, anything that you want to talk about. We'll have counselors on staff. So 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. starting tomorrow at the Grand Blanc Township Police Department all week long. So I plan on giving the community an update through a press conference starting at 5 p.m. today, also at the Grand Blanc Township Police Department.
Now, let me add a little bit of context here. Not context, but let me just add a little bit of my opinion here. I think that when we find out what happened, I think that this person may have had an ought with this particular LDS church. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm assuming that that's why a person would plan and execute such a heinous crime against a specific church in the area. Now, I'm not saying any of what the person did is justified. Even if the people at this church were doing something wrong, you still don't go kill people and do all that like a coward. Now, let me just add this too, because I think it's pertinent to talk about in these scenarios. I want people to not jump to conclusions as of yet. Hold your water. When information comes out, I will be on top of it and I will let you know exactly what is going on. But it is crazy to me at this point for people to be saying we need to ban semi-automatic weapons like rifles. If you know anything about ballistics, you know anything about tactics, you know anything about people who have their mind made up. And I would argue the handgun is just as dangerous. You could put a switch on a handgun and make it fully automatic. You can bring multiple magazines. You can conceal a handgun a lot better. And a lot of times when a person is utilizing a handgun, they are more directed at firing shots than they are spraying and praying with AR-15s. And I'm telling you, that's why majority of shooting incidents that occur in the United States of America occur with handguns. It's easily concealable, and it also is more targeted. Therefore, a person will look and gun down people individually instead of spraying because they have this false sense of accuracy and effectiveness from an AR-15 if they're not, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I've shot AR-15. I shot a handgun. If I had to go into a situation with an AR-15 versus a handgun, now, obviously, I have tactical experience. I was on a SWAT team. So, obviously, I know how to direct the shots. And he was a Marine, but I don't know how active he was. I don't know how proficient he was. I don't know if he was in any tactical environment. Just because you're a Marine don't mean you really that good, to be quite honest. You have to have some tactical experience. But using a handgun, using a rifle, if I had to go one or the other, I have to be more methodical and more strategic and more point blank if I have a handgun. Versus with a rifle, if you're trying to cause mass casualties, you would just spray. That's just my 2 cents. Let's get to the stupidity surrounding Charlie Kirk's assassination. I will say this. People who are spreading conspiracies that are unverified are unwittingly, some of them are willingly, propping up a defense for the defense team. And this is not my own thought. Another guy came up with this idea, and I thought it was brilliant that he mentioned it, and I think it's 100% true. If this shooter is the shooter, you are doing more harm than good by coming up with a defense attorney's arguments to create reasonable doubt. So therefore, you could create an environment in a situation that taints a jury pool, that also creates reasonable doubt, that if this is the actual suspect, the suspect could get off in the crime. Do you want that on your consciousness? You claim that you love Charlie and you love Turning Point USA. You claim that you support the movement, whoever that you are. And I see a ton of you guys, and I'm going to expose a few of them right now, that are saying things that are untoward and that will cause problems in the investigation. You are absolutely unequipped to speak on a subject if you think that Turning Point USA had anything to do with this, or you think that Turning Point USA should somehow release footage of an incident that's currently under investigation. This is not a game This is not a talk show. This is not a reality show. This is not social media. These are real people doing a real investigation that have real people's lives on the line. And it bothers me to no end that people continue to push conspiracy theories. It's okay to question, but without accurate information, you should shut your mouth and let the investigation yield results that you can then critique. I'm going to show it here in a minute, but in the hearing that was presented today on the topic, both the defense and prosecution admitted that there's tons of evidence to go through, that the defense says that they need more time to diagnose the plethora of evidence that they're going to have to evaluate to defend the defendant. They also made claims clearly that there's so much electronic communication that they need ample amount of time to go through all the electronic communication. What does that mean? That means that the little cell phone stuff that you think you saw, or that you think you know the totality of, is not the full story. They're going to extract electronic communications from his cell phone, her cell phone, or the boy's cell phone that he dating that transition. They're going to extract electronic communication from the dad's cell phone. They're going to extract electronic communication on Discord. And he said that there's more than 20 or 30 people that either communicated with or knew about the inferences of the defendant killing Charlie. Let the information come out and then critique it, because there's going to be so much information in this trial, and it's going to be presented live for the world to see. Evidence from OME, the autopsy, experts on ballistics. It's going to be so much information. You ignorant folks, if you have any integrity, wait till there's information presented and critique the information instead of critiquing a straw man. And then what happens is you lie about everything, and then when the truth come out, you just go on to the next lie. Let's go with Stu Peters, who is the nuttiest person on planet Earth. I think I know. I thought I went on this show before. I've seen him before. He is the nuttiest person on planet Earth. I thought that others were nutty. He is the nuttiest. I thought it was a parody until I realized what this fool is saying. Just roll one clip.
Tyler Robinson didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's Israeli security detail killed Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk's assassin is caught on tape. Blake Bednar has brought us this video. We'll break it down. Take a look at this. Here it is from the wide angle. Watch Charlie Kirk's right side of his t-shirt. Watch the lavalier lapel mic. Do you see it explode? Let's bring it in just a little bit closer. Watch this. Put it in a freeze frame. That is the explosion from Charlie Kirk's lavalier lapel mic. Want to see it again? Bring it in closer. Remember when we told you that was absolutely...
This guy is stupid. I don't want to show too much of Charlie, but he think a lavalier exploded. Somehow the lavalier exploded and then went on this side of Charlie's neck and penetrated it and killed him. The lavalier explodes and goes on the other side and kills. There is no evidence on no video that nobody has ever presented or saw a entrance wound on the other side of his neck. Where are you getting that the lavalier has precision munition in it that will shoot one round through this side and out this side? If it has the velocity to shoot a round through from this angle, it's not going to come out this side. And if it's how did it come? And if it has enough velocity to blast from here, come in and out of this side, in this side, out of this side, it's going to hit somebody that's standing right next to him. His Israeli team, these people were hired by Turning Point, and many of them served in the United States military or law enforcement. I know these guys personally. What are you talking about, bruh? Now it's a lavalier mic? So you're saying the team is involved? Because Nick, help me. They travel with the lavalier mic that they use for Charlie all the time. The same one that they put on me when I go to the event. And if you have a lavalier mic with munition that's powerful enough to kill you, that lavalier mic will be so heavy you couldn't use the magnetic hold on it. It will be draping down his shirt. You stupid idiot. Finish the clip.
Absolutely an exit wound? Yeah, it is. Check the trajectory of the round that was deployed from that lavalier lapel mic. That went directly from Charlie Kirk's lapel. That went directly from underneath Charlie Kirk's white t-shirt up through his neck and created the exit wound that we told you was an exit wound immediately when we saw.
All right. I don't like to see Charlie like that. Roll it. Let's get off of that for a second. But the lavalier mic shot him but didn't explode. Because the thing is hanging right here. Okay. It gets worse. Now here's Nick Fuentes, who's another idiot, who's criticizing Erica Kirk's response to her husband's assassination. Roll the clip.
It's like, lady, didn't your husband just get his face blown off like 2 seconds ago? And not to be insensitive about it, but everyone's thinking it. No one wants to be the asshole. No one wants to say it. Everyone's thinking it. Everyone was thinking it when she gave the first speech. Everyone was definitely thinking it at the memorial. Nobody wants to say it because it's inappropriate. It's insensitive. I am the troll, right? So I'll be the one to say it. I think it's super inappropriate. I think it's inappropriate. I think it's weird. It's bizarre. Something is off there, and I don't like it. But they're doing the Super Bowl commentators with the headsets on, doing a media table. They're selling merch, registering voters. They got pyrotechnics. Is this WrestleMania or is this a funeral? Like, what are we doing here? And then, the day after the funeral, I'm getting 500 texts and emails. Erica Kirk here. I miss him. Every time I blink, every beat of my heart. Make sure to donate $5, $15, $25. It's like, okay. Then they're doing a show. Did you see the show today? And so prescient. I said it last night. I said, I'm getting like a fake vibe. Something's off there. And people say, well, everybody grieves differently. Yeah, I don't know how much mileage we can get out of that one anymore. Something's not right there. Very bizarre, weird vibe there. And did you see the show? Erica hosted the Charlie Kirk show this afternoon, and she's like, she looks like she's over the moon. She's happy as a clam. And again, who am I to judge? Everybody grieves differently. She's a very devout Christian. Some people say maybe that's just strength, that's resolve. I don't know. It's one thing if your husband dies, period. It's another thing if your husband dies at age 31, unexpectedly. It's another thing if your 31-year-old husband unexpectedly dies because he gets publicly executed with blood gushing out in front of thousands of people screaming and running away. That's like something that's altogether different.
How many seconds? Oh, thank God it's over. What an idiot. I don't know how people think this dude is a normal person that they should platform other than kicking his butt verbally on a debate. Like, do you not have any intuition or wisdom? Do you not believe in God? These fake Christians like Nick Fuentes, who trashed Charlie forever and called Charlie a fake Christian. Look at his theology of Erica Kirk. Dummy. Some people, because you're a maniac and you don't have any emotional intelligence, some people know how to put on the face that they need for their husband's legacy, to do what she got to do to continue his legacy. What kind of effing woman would just sit at home and cry all day when she was married to a soldier, a man who stood on principle, that fought every day for American values, that traveled all over the country? She's married to that guy that prays over his family, that supports his family, surrounded by patriots who have something in them that's greater than what the world is offering. And she can step up to the plate to honor her husband, and she probably cries at home all night. That's like saying, Brandon, you don't cry every time you get on a thing. I have cried multiple times over what happened to Charlie, but I know how to compose myself enough to fight the good fight. These people are stupid. Saying that Erica's speech when she first did it, she was crying and but you want to judge her on what? Show me an example of a person who lost their husband the way she lost Charlie. And what did they say in response? How was their first speech? The woman is continuing his legacy. I got the messages. I love him. I miss him. What else you want her to do? Say, let's forget about it. It makes your husband's death even worse if you're sitting around crying about it and you're not helping further the mission. Good people that believe in God understand that God has a plan and that God's plan is bigger than ours. When Nick Fuentes, you don't believe in God, I don't know what God he believe in, you somehow think that you should be consumed by worldly events and emotionalism and not by the Spirit of God that gives you grace and gives you passion to keep going. That's like saying that the apostles, when Jesus was crucified on the cross, somehow they supposed to sit around and cry all day. That Mary was supposed to sit around and cry all day. No, they said they killed my son, Mary said. They killed our brother, and we must continue on even in the face of death. And that's what the apostles did. We got another clip from him talking about Charlie was in an arranged marriage with Erica. Roll the clip.
The thing about Erica Kirk is I 100% believe that that's an arranged marriage. Charlie and Erica, I do not believe for 1 second that they met organically. How do you think they met each other? Do you think that they bumped into each other at CPAC and Charlie said, hey, let's go on a date?
Hold on.
No, they were set up.
Hold on. This is why you know he's stupid. All you got to do is listen to Charlie over the last several years explain how he met Erica. She applied for a job at Turning Point USA. In the interview, they connected, and he said, you know what? You can't work for me because you're going to be my woman. That's normal behavior. A young man like Charlie Kirk is probably open to having a wife, beautiful, smart, intelligent, articulate, woman got something going for herself. Her resume is probably insane. A man look at her and say, wait a minute. You gonna be you gonna work and be a influencer or whatever no, you wifey material. He sees so many women, and there is not many women that can lead or be in a position to be a part of his life to take him to the next level. I met my wife similarly to that. My wife was, she was on social media or whatever, and I knew she lived in California. I invited her to an event, the Nestor Susie event. I was talking to another woman. I mean, we were trying to date another woman. I just liked Corinne because she was very sweet and she was nice, and I liked she was a patriot. And so I invited her to the event, didn't think nothing of it. The girl that I liked, she had to go somewhere else. She couldn't go to dinner with the rest of everybody else, but Corinne went. And me and Corinne talked. She embarrassed me. Well, not embarrassed me. She blasted me because my social media sucked. She said, Brandon, let me help you with this social media. I didn't want nothing to do with Corinne. She was good looking, but she lived in California, and I ain't never living in California. I never moved from Arizona. That's what my mind was. And I don't have time to be dealing with women, really. And I thought she was bougie, too, because she had Louis Vuitton, and now I know she thrift all that stuff, and she's smart about her money. But then over time, bruh, she started helping me with my social media. Then she started being to help me with my speaking engagements, kind of like a manager. And then after a while, I say, well, wait a minute. This woman is beautiful. She's conservative. She's smart. She a grown woman. She got her stuff together. She can add so much value to my life. What am I? This is wifey material. This the kind of woman I want to marry. And I married her. But when you're a little incel, wanking off at night to I don't know, anime, bunny ears. Y'all see the guy he was with doing bunny ears, probably on the back of midnight. When you doing stuff like that, you don't understand the value of what women bring to the table. This dude is in his age and he don't got no girlfriend or nothing. We know what that is, bro. You're gay probably. And ain't nothing wrong being gay. That's what you want to do, but don't be in the closet about it. You running around talking all this Christian stuff, and you the dumbest person on earth with no wisdom. Charlie, arranged marriage. Where your evidence that this is arranged? Everybody that got married that I know in Turning Point, a lot of them young people met they people at a Turning Point event. They work with them. They ran into them. What are y'all talking? This is what happens when you're in the movement. You run into somebody that's your wife. But when you're a weirdo sitting in your parents' house making little videos of like being a racist, no woman wants you anyway. What woman gonna want Nick Fuentes? You ain't got nothing to offer. You too stupid not to build a platform or something for yourself. You go on these podcasts, you're a little grower, you make your little YouTube stuff, but you're not desirable for a woman to be with. You have nothing to offer. Anyway, I will go on, but I need to move on to my next topic. But the court proceeding happened, and we'll play it in post-production so you guys can see it. But the court proceeding happened where it was like initial counsel for the defendant. They introduced the counsel, and they obviously convened to create another hearing. I don't know what the hearing is called, but a hearing so they can begin to articulate their position because he just secured counsel. So let's go to the next subject. And this is one that you Jew haters need to just get off of here because you don't want to see it. But Netanyahu went to the White House and met with Donald Trump. Let me just explain this real quick. This is why Tucker and the rest of them are cowards to me. They love to talk about Netanyahu, but they're too cowardice to call out Donald Trump. If Netanyahu is committing a genocide and a war criminal, and Donald Trump is having him at the White House negotiating peace with him, what does that make Donald Trump? If like Tucker said, he going around telling the world that he run President Trump, you know, but Trump don't know. You mad, but Trump ain't mad. You can call him out, but Trump won't call him out. So what you're saying is that Trump is a wussy with a P. That's what you're saying. You're saying that Trump will let a man run around in the Middle East and say he run Donald Trump, and Donald Trump will kiss his butt and let him come into the Oval Office and kiki like nothing going on. Is that what you're saying, Tucker? But Tucker is a wussy with a P because he won't call Trump out. We send funding to Israel. We allowed Israel to go into the airspace in Qatar and create the bombing that y'all complaining about. We did that. We, in partnership with Israel, bombed Iran. But you could say all these negative things about Netanyahu and Israel, but Trump is involved in it too, but you wouldn't dare call his name out. Because you don't really want that smoke with Donald Trump. You are a coward, Tucker Carlson. I said it with my own mouth. And there's other people I want to call out to be cowards, but that will come in due time. Let's get to the clip real quick because I got to get on an interview. Listen to what Hamas officials said on the interview. And y'all dumb, ignorant fools that support a terrorist organization disguised as Gazans, listen to what he said. This is the leader of Hamas and the government structure of Gaza. Listen, and the interview was worse than this. I listened to the whole thing. So the stain-headed idiot that's talking underneath the gentleman that's commentating, listen to what he said, wrote a clip.
No one asked Hamas to surrender. We will never surrender. We will never surrender.
Some of these people.
This is Hamzi Hamad, a senior Hamas official who publicly endorses Hamas's violent actions on October 7th. I want to show you some of Hamad's statements during a recent CNN interview.
Hamas recently announced that Israeli hostages have been spread out throughout Gaza City. Is your intention to use those Israeli hostages as human shields?
No, we never use these people as shields. No, we never use it. All the time we explain that we as Hamas, we use these people or we deal with people according to the Islamic principles and according to the Islamic values.
Hold on.
So what are the Islamic?
Hold on. Islamic principles and Islamic values. Y'all killed a few of them already. Y'all killed like half of the hostages. That's Islamic value. You're starving the other ones that we see in the video. That's Islamic values. We don't use them as leverage.
Values. Torture, starvation, abuse, kidnapping men, women, and children and taking them as hostages.
This is a statement from the Al-Qassam brigades, Hamas's military wing.
No.
They said that in order to deter this Israeli military invasion, they are placing Israeli hostages strategically.
The hostages are spread everywhere.
Did you catch that?
The hostages are spread everywhere.
He said the hostages are spread everywhere, which means Hamas is spread everywhere also. The civilian population is Hamas. And he proves that with this statement in the interview.
Hamas is part of the Palestinian fabric. You could not exclude Hamas, but
Hamas is a part of the Palestinian fabric. You can't remove it. That's what this Gazan leader has publicly proclaimed. Can someone please send that soundbite to every single world leader who just voted at the UN General Assembly? Those who think that Hamas is just going to simply disappear if they offer them statehood.
Hamas is part of the Palestinian fabric.
Hamas is a jihadist cancer, and the Arab-Palestinian identity is riddled with Hamas. Leaders like Hamad and many of the people who support Hamas in Gaza are just monsters. And the people who are marching in support of them are marching in support of their jihadist, violent ideologies. But I want you to look at the final question and his response if you don't believe me.
And Hamas just announced that it is holding these Israeli hostages in strategic locations around Gaza City. Why not give the Red Cross access? This is something that the families, that the Red Cross has been asking for nearly 2 years now.
The situation is very complicated. Security situation is very complicated. It's not easy to get access for these people.
Have you tried?
It is not easy now.
Have you tried?
It is not easy, as I told you, to give you access.
So let's get this straight. It's easy to spread out the surviving hostages among the civilian population of Gaza City, but it all of a sudden becomes complicated and not so easy to allow the Red Cross to give the remaining 20 living hostages the desperately needed medical attention and care they require after being held captive by Hamas for 723 days. Do you know what Hamas loves more than its own women and children? Its weapons and its power. They would rather keep their rockets and AK-47s in their future rather than their own children.
And we will never surrender.
Now let's put this in perspective, and I'm gonna try to be short on this because I need his stuff to come out. People, what is the problem with you? Go and pray about this. Because I have seen some of the dumbest and most ignorant responses I've ever seen in my life. Hamas is a terrorist organization. Hamas murdered and filmed the killing of so many Israelis. They launched 4,000 missiles into Israel, trying to kill everybody, but they can't because the Iron Dome is there. Hamas is hiding behind their people, using them as literally human shields. They will not let their people go. They will not let them. Other countries won't even receive these people. Jordan won't, Egypt won't. Other countries won't receive these people. Why? Hamas won't let them go, won't let them free. They can show all these videos of kids getting blown up, and most of it is fake, but they can't show what they did to the hostages. How about you show what you did to the hostages that all died? They killed 100 of them. What did y'all do to them? Why are we not talking about the hostages that they held that died? If you could say that the Gazan people have nothing to do with Hamas, the government, then the Israeli people have nothing to do with Benjamin Netanyahu and the government. Why don't they get the dignity that you're trying to give women and children? They kidnapped women and children. They've killed them. In the last wave of bodies that they brought back a woman and 2 children. How did they die? Where is the video footage of that? Where is the protest of that? They killed innocent people. It irritates me. This is a terrorist group. This guy, listen, let me say this, and I'm gonna be done. I'll let Trump speak. Listen to me clearly, people. Most of Gaza is riddled with this ideology. To be honest, there is no saving Gaza from continuing terrorist activity against Israel. Because the very same people that cry, this is an apartheid, this is a genocide. What do you think the people in Gaza think? If the people around the world are claiming that this is happening to the people of Gaza, what do you think they think? You think they want peace? You think they won't go to war? You think they don't believe that they're occupied? Every one of them. They somehow believe everything is they believe they're occupied too. They believe it's a genocide too. What do you think they're teaching them and preaching to the young people? So what do you think they're going to do in the future like they have done before? And I'll say this and I'm going to stop. ignorant folk think that it's justified for Hamas to fight. I tell you this, and I said it from day one so that you can go back and fact check me. I don't, and I said this on campus when people ask me this. I'm not in the conflict. I haven't been there. But what I will say, I'm saying I haven't been there in the conflict. I've been to Israel. But if you believe you're occupied, you believe it's a genocide, then it's justified for you to fight for it. But when Israel kick your, then don't say nothing. If you think that you want to fight back, and when the people you fight against kill you, stop making, what are we talking about? If the Native Americans decided we are tired of living on the reservation, and Tohono O'odham in Arizona decide we're going to take over our land back, good luck. You in your heart, you right. But when America turned you into a graveyard, then what are we talking about? Israel won wars. They don't owe Palestinians nothing. But they give them access in regions where they can govern themselves. And their only thought is kill Jews, not to let's build our own empire. Anyway, Trump goes to the White House and speaks with Netanyahu, and he comes up with a peace agreement. Let's roll it. And mind you, Israel agreed to it. Like every two-state solution that ever existed on the books, Israel has agreed to every one of them. And Gaza, or the Arabs, denied or rejected them. What are we saying here? Quit talking about a two-state solution. Israel just agreed to this one. Let's see how Gaza respond. We saw what the guy said, they'll never surrender. But let's see what Trump and Netanyahu says in this agreement. Roll the clip.
Details are emerging this weekend of a U.S. proposed 21-point peace plan for ending the war in Gaza. Moments ago, I spoke exclusively with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ahead of his pivotal meeting tomorrow at the White House with President Trump. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, thank you for joining the Sunday briefing. I want to start by asking you if you've seen this 21-point peace plan and if you plan to declare support for it at the White House tomorrow.
Well, we're working on it, Jackie. It's not been finalized yet, but we're working with President Trump's team, actually as we speak, and I hope we can make it a go because we want to free our hostages. We want to get rid of Hamas rule and have them disarmed, Gaza demilitarized, and a new future set up for Gazans and Israelis alike, and for the whole region.
According to some reports,
pause it real quick.
If Israel...
Now, you don't have to like Netanyahu. You can say he's a war criminal. But what he said right there, is that reasonable? The answer to me is yes. Roll the clip.
Israel and Hamas agree to this plan. The war would immediately end. The IDF will gradually withdraw from the Gaza Strip. All hostages will be returned within 48 hours. And then after that, Israel would free 1,000 Palestinian prisoners and aid will surge immediately. But Hamas members who choose to stay would get amnesty. And in your speech to the UN, you didn't indicate that amnesty is in the cards. Listen to this.
The final remnants of Hamas are holed up in Gaza City. They vow to repeat the atrocities of October 7th again and again and again, no matter how diminished their forces. That is why Israel must finish the job.
Will you agree to amnesty for Hamas?
Well, I think the details of this have to be worked out. But in previous statements, I said that if Hamas leaders, for example, are escorted out of the country, if they finish the war, release all the hostages, we let them out. That is something that I've said in the past, but it has to be worked out. All of that, I think, is part of the plan. I'm not going to preempt it because we're having these discussions exactly right now.
How many Hamas fighters do you estimate are left? Is it more than before the war started?
No, it's considerably less. But as we decimated them, what they did was they stole the food that we were giving to Gazan civilians, hiked up the prices, and then used it to fund the recruiting of replacements. And the replacements could be 14, 15-year-olds. That's what they're doing. I mean, they're actually blackmailing Palestinian families to give them their kids in order to fill the ranks that have been decimated by us. But no, it's not the same number at all. And by the way, you have Gazans now fighting Hamas. And say we've had enough of this. We have to have something else. And they're fighting Hamas. They're killing Hamas. Some of them are dying in the process because they've had enough. And I fully understand them.
Now let's think about this for a minute. Let's say they agree to a two-state solution. And I want you to put your thinking cap on. What happens if they attack Israel again? Now they're their own separate state, their own separate government, their own separate military. Then they have to do this all over again. Oh my God, man. Is that the end of the clip? We got more.
We have another clip from today from the meeting. I just had it now. So.
All right, let's play it.
So this is a big day, a beautiful day, potentially one of the great days ever in civilization. Things that have
Trump be exaggerating
been
like
going on for hundreds of years and thousands of years. We're going to, at least we're at a minimum very, very close, and I think we're beyond very close. And I want to thank Bibi for really getting in there and doing a job. We've worked well together, as we have with many other countries, both of us, with many other countries, which is the only way this whole situation gets solved. And I'm not just talking about Gaza. Gaza is one thing, but we're talking about much beyond Gaza. The whole deal, everything getting solved. It's called peace in the Middle East. So today is a historic day for peace, and Prime Minister Netanyahu and I have just concluded an important meeting on many vital issues, including Iran, trade, the expansion of the Abraham Accords, and most importantly, we discussed how to end the war in Gaza, but it's just a part of the bigger picture, which is peace in the Middle East. And let's call it eternal peace in the Middle East. So this is far more than anybody expected, but the level of support that I've had from the nations in the Middle East and surrounding Israel and neighbors of Israel has been incredible.
Now, let's put this in perspective real quick, and I got many more I want to talk about, but we're going to have to end here soon. But I think that this is what you're hearing from Trump is reality. You don't have to like everything Netanyahu is doing. I don't think everything he's doing is perfect. But the reality is Netanyahu do not run Donald Trump. Donald Trump is making him come to the table to negotiate peace. He's not initiating peace. Donald Trump is saying we're going to have peace. And Netanyahu is cooperating. And Donald Trump has spoken to this man multiple times. Donald Trump has been briefed on the circumstances and situations that we are or have been involved with Israel. And Donald Trump is making a decision to say, I support this. I'm willing to work with Netanyahu. And he's not a war criminal. I tend to believe Donald Trump, whom we have voted for, that has been incredible for America, that have always put America first, have not gotten us in the wars that we shouldn't be fighting in, has put his neck on the line to make sure America is right. That man that put his family and everything on the line for America, I believe his sentiment more than somebody just getting clicks online or somebody that's trying to be relevant after they lost their job somewhere. I don't understand why people can't just slow down and say, take a back seat. You're not in the government. You don't work for the government. You don't even know how it works. To be so ignorant to say everybody's messed up in the government. No, the government does have flaws and the government has done good things. And you got to be a person that's falling off a cliff to just act like everything is a conspiracy. Donald Trump may not necessarily like Benjamin Netanyahu. I don't know the man. I just think that in this war situation, what he's doing, and I disagree with him taking as long as he have. I wish he'd have just knocked off a whole bunch of people at the first point and got as many hostages back as they could and went after them immediately. Mass casualty situation, which is what America would have done. And let me tell you why I know America would have done it, and I'm going to get off here. Let's play that clip that I found, because I thought this dude absolutely killed it on the show. And this encapsulates everything that I've been trying to say, and all of your ignorant naysayers out there, have them disprove what he just said. Roll the clip.
One of my pet peeves seems to be one of your pet peeves, and that is, 2 million people have been killed in the Sudan civil war. I haven't seen a protest in NYU for that. Assad killed 500 Arabs. I didn't see colleges burned down. 500,000 Arabs killed by Assad. Saddam Hussein killed over 1 million Muslims in wars. I gassed them. I didn't see protests there. And yet your school is shut down right now because Israel is responding to the worst attack against Jews worldwide since the Holocaust. Help us sort through that.
And we can debate that response.
I don't know algebra, but I'm pretty good at the common denominators here and why there's no common denominators in all of these. It's just that it's Jews defending their homeland. Because if you look at the numbers, even with American wars, they don't add up.
Well, first off, good to be with you, and I especially appreciate your leadership on this issue. I'll give you some more numbers. 2,200 American servicemen killed at Pearl Harbor. We go on to kill 3.5 million Japanese, including 100,000 in one night. 2,800 Americans in 9/11. We go on to kill 400,000 people in Afghanistan and Iraq. We weren't accused of genocide. You had, if Mexico had elected a jihadist cartel to run their country, and then they incurred into Texas, and on a per capita basis killed 35,000 people, or the population of the University of Texas, and on the way back took the freshman class at SMU hostage and hid them under tunnels, what would we do? It'd be the great Sonora radioactive parking lot. But Jews are not allowed, and Israel is not allowed to prosecute a war. And they are prosecuting a war more humanely than we have done. The ratio of combatants to civilians is of civilian death to combatant mortality is lower than it was in Mosul, lower than it was in Japan, lower than it was in Germany. So there's just a different standard for Jews in Israel when it comes to prosecuting a war. They're allowed to fight back to a truce, but unlike America or any other Western nation that has attacked us viciously, they're not allowed to win a war. It's a double standard.
That's all I'm saying. It's a mother freaking double standard. I lit up on the inside when he said 2,000 was attacked at Pearl Harbor and we went on to kill 3.5 million Japanese. That made me feel patriotic. Then he go on 9/11, they killed it. We come at 400,000 people in the war in Afghanistan. That's what we supposed to be doing. When you come over here and you kill 1,000 people, we will obliterate you from existence. You will never, if they ever did this in America and they came over here and did that, I want history to reflect such atrocity that you forget that the people ever lived. I want America to wipe the history of these people off of the face of the earth. What do we say? You coward mother, you know what? I want to cuss. Y'all cowards would want them to come over and kill all our people, and then you want to go talk peace. There ain't no peace. Like David and Goliath. Knock him over the head, behead him in front of his people, and show him who's boss. You come over here and kill American citizens, it would be the worst decision that your existence have ever perpetuated. And I'll say this and I'm going to end this. Everybody that is against Israel, is that ringing in my ear?
Yeah, it's not in
It's telling me to get out of here. Every nation that is exiled Jews and against Jews, where are they at today? The Ottoman Empire, where are they at today? The Nazis in Germany, where are they at today? All the countries, the Romans, where are they at today? All of the people who are partners with Israel in peace, Dubai and all the the UAE, all these other places, they're prosperous. The most prosperous nation in the world is the biggest ally to Israel. You think it's a coincidence? I don't. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out.
Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.